Hey, good morning, FCF. It's day 4 in our journey where we're taking the big events in Genesis and one we're going to look at in Exodus. And today we come to a most unusual story. It's called the Tower of Babel story. It's in Genesis chapter 11. And there are truly some peculiarities about it that I'd like to know more about. I'm going to share some things that are clear, and then I'm going to share some speculative things. But let me just give you the storyline. This is now, mind you, after the Genesis flood. Noah and his family have been told by God to repopulate the earth and to scatter. Now that part is important because, in fact, I might find you that reference in Genesis 9. Yeah, in Genesis 9 when it says, "Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth." That is essentially the commission that God had given to Adam and Eve. So they were to spread out. That's important. They were not to stay in one place. So time has come and gone since the flood, and mankind is multiplying. And that gives us the background for Genesis chapter 11. It says, "Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As men moved eastward, they settled in a plain in Shinar and settled there." Or they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. "They said to each other, Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone. Very interesting. The Nephilim structures, the megalithic structures, are all of enormous stones. Now mankind can't do that. They're making bricks. Anyway, they used brick instead of stone and tar from mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens." That's important. "So that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth." God had told them to scatter. They don't want to scatter. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the men were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down, confuse their language, so that they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. Now mind you, they were supposed to scatter and fill the earth. They colluded together. They did not want to scatter. They spoke one language at the time. God comes down to advise them. Now here's the speculative part. Why were they seeking to build a tower to go to the heavens? Perhaps the remaining the stories that remain from Noah's family, his sons were on the ark and their wives, about the good old days, the golden age where the Nephilim were on earth and there was all sorts of sophisticated technology and things of that nature, that if we could just reach the angels again, if we could just find a portal where we could communicate with the heavenly entities again, we could gain the secret knowledge that we once had in the age gone by. And although that knowledge is what created the havoc on earth. That part is speculative, but it sounds like it could be what was going on, because anytime you find ziggurats and these towers all through the Middle East, they were always connected to astrology. They were always connected to various types of false worship, false gods and goddesses. So they were trying to connect, once again, with the spiritual entities that had come down and multiplied and caused the hybrid race of the Nephilim. Anyway, God comes and divides them by language, and this is fascinating. Studies have been done, and there's a good group there. I think it's called Genesis or Creation Research Society might be. But anyway, they've done a lot of studies where they narrow back they take all the languages on earth and they go back in time and they come to a place where it would have likely been the start of languages. Anyway, say all that to say that this storyline fits what we see today. Now, I want to take you to one other passage in the book of Acts in the New Testament to show you why this scattering thing might have been more significant than we think. In Acts chapter 17, in verse 26, it says, "From one man, he," meaning the Lord, "from one man he made every nation of men that they should inhabit the whole earth," not part, whole earth, "and he determined the time set for them and the exact places where they should live." What that means is that God literally picked the time you and I would be born as well as the place we would live. Don't think too much about that, it'll hurt your head. But anyway, that's what it's saying. From one nation he made every man that they should inhabit the whole earth, and He determined the exact times for them and exact places where they should live. By the way, that shows that nations and borders are God's intention. God did this so that men would seek Him and perhaps reach out for Him and find Him, though He is not far from each one of us. What this is saying is that God has divided us into national groups. He has divided us linguistically because there was a higher likelihood of us seeking God as opposed to staying in one place, one language, one nation. The likelihood of rebellion and complete rejection of God would have been higher. So fascinating stuff. All of it starts in the book of Genesis. Thank you for being with me.